it's time to dish with D. That's me. Thank you for this video, making yourself a priority. I am Denise. I am inside because they're cutting trees outside. So I really wanted to film outside. It's not too sunny, but all I hear is, yeah. And I can't wait because I got stuff to do today. Alrighty, my lovelies. This week is my favorite topping and a lot of people's least favorite topping. Let's see if we try to do something different with this. I don't know. It is revisit the tracking routine. Tracking. Oh, I didn't take my way in. If you've been to my live, you know I don't want to talk about it. But I'm going to talk about it anyway. I gained 4 pounds. I'm going to be honest. I think I changed my weigh-in day to the middle of the week versus the end of the week. Not sure why. I just thought, sometimes changing up helps. I've been okay on the weekend, so I'm not worried about weekend eating. I'm not changing my weigh-in day. So now we're in the middle of the week instead of the end of the week. But still, why did you gain 4 pounds? I ate, of course. It was a big sugar week. And I just talked about this last night. I know better. And it's funny, it's the little things that you have. And do I think it's gone now? I definitely think I've lost since then, because I think it was the sugar and the gluten were really, I know better. I know that it's what it does to me. But again, we want what we want, don't we? So actually there was sugar and gluten in the same bite. Don't worry, I tracked it all. Which is interesting because I've gotten to the point where, and somebody mentioned this in a workshop this morning. Do we not track because of guilt? I've never thought about that. Back in the day, that would be my reason, but I track it now. I don't try to feel guilty about what I eat. I mean, did I like gaining 4 pounds? I didn't. It happens. I can't go back and say, well, I wish I'd. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I'm not going to dwell on that. Do I think it's a temporary gain? Oh, for the most part, yes. I don't think I gained 4 pounds of permanent weight. And I've been having issues. I have 2 appointments next month, but that's not an excuse. That's just basically I'm looking for help. So there you go. If you have a problem, don't sit there and be like, well, I think it could be. You know what? Go to the people in charge of your health, which is really you and your physician, and talk about it and see what you can come up with. You just don't know. But tracking. Yeah, track. Do we track because we feel bad about what we ate? I don't know. It could be a thing. A question they asked is, what does tracking look like for you? And the one girl said, which I really thought was, consistent tracking versus perfect tracking. Like, as long as you track something. And I know everybody tracking is one of those things, I feel like that's what people complain most about. That's what I hear all the time. Oh, tracking. It's work. Pure and simple, it is work. But it is a way consistent trackers do better than non-consistent trackers. So if taking a few minutes after a meal, before a meal, helps you with your goals, isn't it worth it? And it's not like it's gonna, like, I can see if it took you an hour to track, I wouldn't do that either. But literally it's seconds. And the more you do it, the quicker it is. And if you're like me, who for the most part consistently eats the same, like I said, there's cottage cheese, there's yogurt, there's chicken, there's turkey, there's some beef, there's just some that was dairy, cheeses, like things I usually like to have on hand. So it's already, and they're already in there because you've already tracked it once. Once it's in there, tracked, it's there. And usually, especially for the next week, it comes right up. Like, especially if you're having it at lunch. If you're having like a my new thing is the Garibaldi, the string cheese. They have a higher protein. I got them at Sam's, the light ones. They're 2 points each. I think you get 7 or 8 grams of protein per stick. For a cheese stick, that's pretty good. But if I have it for lunch, like yesterday, so today if I go to track lunch, I go into lunch, where you hit the plus next to lunch, and that comes right up if you want to track it. So I have a 265-day track streak. Now, there are times I don't track everything all day. Just of just like laziness. I do try to go back if I forgot the next day, and I go back just to make sure I don't have any rollover points that I didn't earn. So I'll go back and I'll fix it. But if nothing else, track dinner. And I say dinner because I feel like dinner is that one meal that it's going to be a higher point meal. So if nothing else, if you don't track at all, commit to tracking dinner. And like, at least you've gotten that in, because you can pretty much work around breakfast and lunch to stay within your budget. Dinner to me is where I lose a lot. It's just the little things that's in there. It's, that's made with dinner, that makes dinner make it a little bit higher, would be dinner. So I feel like if you could at least commit to tracking dinner for a week, and then maybe try to move into tracking breakfast. Scan things, use that little picture. I mean, like, if nothing else, take the picture. Is it always accurate? It's not, but it's something. And sometimes I go in there and I look at that picture because it gives you everything it tracks in that photo. I'm like, there wasn't that in there, so I'll swipe it out. You could swipe whatever's in that photo right out, and it'll take the points out. So do that, try something. And I say this a lot because this is what I see. It's about anything that has to do with energy and work, we tend not to do. And I tell you, I get asked all the time, what are the points for that? Now, you have an app. I mean, if you don't have an app, I can understand asking. But if you do have an app and you're asking me what the points are, you can import a recipe. I shared a recipe on my Facebook group. I had a pound of lean ground chicken. I didn't know what I felt like last night. And I get some of them. So I Googled lean ground chicken recipe or ground chicken recipe, and it came up with this. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called like sesame. I don't know, some kind of chicken. It had soy sauce, a chili something in there. I had everything. I even had green onion, which was like, I need to make this. I have the green onion, and I made it over rice. So if you're going to sit there and look at that and say, what are the points for that, Denise? Take the link, put it in, the import link, and then get the points. Like, don't depend on anybody else to give you what you need. You need to find out what you need. Oh, also, somebody mentioned in the Zoom this morning about the updates for getting the ranges. And she said, the end of the month, hopefully everybody will have the updates, because this is the excuse that I loved. Well, they don't roll it out to everyone in case there's a mistake. No, you do the mistake before you roll it out completely. But like they said, system crashes because so many people update their apps at the same time. Could be true. So yes, if you haven't gotten that range, it's going to take, you got, what's today's date? Oh, happy fall, y'all. I totally was going to say that. The first day of fall, I think, is today. So happy fall. It is September 22nd. So you got another, 9 days, 9 days to see if you can get that update. So, and like I said, they come up with the ranges. It's what's inputted in your app for your age. Make sure your age is correct, your height is correct, and you're not lying on that scale, correct. And the activity. Make sure your activity, it's the first one. I think I showed you in last week's video. Make sure, are you lightly active, moderately active? That all affects everything. So get all that in there, and how many steps. I don't know if the step count's just, I think, a goal. I don't think that has anything to do with your calories and macros. But so hopefully by the end of the month, everybody will have it. So that's nice to hear that I knew everybody was getting it, but it's kind of always nice to hear, nice to see. So let's pull this up. Come on. Research tells us tracking consistently, not perfectly, is more effective than trying to track every single thing. Food tracking is one of the strongest predictors of weight loss because it makes us more aware of our food choices and can help us identify changes we want to make. And even too, if you go into the macros at the bottom and you pull up carbohydrates, it breaks down every carb and what food you had. So if your carbs are higher than you want, look at that list and think, what did you have that day that threw them up? You're like, oh, wow, I didn't realize there was that much carbs. It happened to me the other day, why my fiber was so high. I'm like, how did I get all that fiber? I don't remember eating anything that was, so I went into the fiber, and it was the Choc Zero maple syrup. A tablespoon of Choc Zero maple syrup has 14 grams of fiber. I went, I didn't know that. Wow. I'm like, that's pretty impressive. And with my piece of fruit, which has fiber in it and carbs. So I have, at breakfast, I had 22 grams of fiber. I was a bit shocked. So yeah, so you can see the breakdown of things. Maybe, oh, maybe I won't have that every day, or maybe I'll just have half of that, or I could adjust it. So having, but if you didn't track it, you can't see it. So you can't go back and look and say what you did right or what worked or what food choices that were interesting that you might not think had that, but you look like, wow, I didn't know that had that, but you wouldn't know if you didn't track it. So that gives you knowledge. It gives you accountability, it gives you knowledge, it's information that if you don't track it, and let me tell you something, they ask what you're tracking. It said before you eat, after you eat, later in the day, the next day. So depends. If I'm cooking something, I'll track while I'm cooking just to get it all in. If it's a quick thing, then I'll eat and then I'll track as I'm eating. I'm just sit there picking my phone because we all read our phone during breakfast if we're by ourselves. That's when I track. So I try to let it go too long unless I'm interrupted because I don't want to forget. Because especially when you're putting little things. And I know it sounds really silly to say that, but I had to make sure I get my chia seeds in there. Plus, I want to make my goals. In order to sit there and see your fiber, carb, you can't put everything in. So I had to put my pumpkin seeds and my chia seeds and my hemp seeds. And, my pear, I have to weigh my pear. So make sure I weigh my pear. And then I have my cottage cheese. So I'm a work in progress. But I did not start my workaround yet. What you didn't know, I made a cute little PDF. We talked about this. This came from Weight Watchers, not from me. Well, technically it did. I talked to somebody, one of the people at Weight Watchers International, and she was saying, you can do a workaround for the menopause plan. I'm like, you can? She goes, yeah. She goes, I think I explained that in many videos. Y'all know that. But I kind of put it all together in a cute little PDF so I could remember it more easily and have to go back and look. So if you want a copy of this, you could email me, dishwithdee@yahoo.com, and I will send it to you. Or you can I post in my Facebook group, Dish with Dee's Crew. It just gives me reminders of things I want to work on. So if they're sitting in front of me, I will work on them and I will oh yeah, that is 0 points on the menopause plan. Oh, I got to count that on the menopause plan. So it might want to be a little bit more diligent about that. But if you didn't know, it is following the diabetic plan, keeping their points the same. You don't change, you follow the diabetic points, but you'll get them because that's what the plan gives you. Fish, shellfish, lean meats, low-fat, yogurts, and cottage cheese. Now, somebody said they could have up to 2% for 0 points. I would go with the 1% personally. That's my workaround. That's why I put it. That's what I say. Tofu tempeh, which tempeh is very high, I believe, in a few things. But it's really, I've had an occasion. Trader Joe's has it. Non-starchy vegetables, eggs, beans, peas, lentils, chicken, turkey, avocado. Now, avocado, when you track it, will come up as points because on the diabetic plan it is. And plus, remember, you got those 5 extra points that are given on the diabetic plan, so just don't go crazy. And it says 0 point fruits. Now, I also say limit fruits to 2 a day. Personally, if you're going to have low carb, which is what the diabetic plan is, technically, even for the menopause plan, it's low carbish. I would limit to 2 fruits a day. Focus on high protein and fiber. I have walk and move 4 to 5 times a week. Drink 8 glasses of water per day. I should have put that. I hope people don't think it's per week. Tracking and serving sizes are things to focus on. Yep, see? Tracking. Because you can't make an assessment if you don't know what to assess. So tracking is extremely important. So, like I said, it's work. Yes, it's work. But without work, we don't see results. And you can't have somebody else do the work for you. If you're at your job and somebody did your job, would you complain and be like, hey, you're getting paid the same as I am. Why am I doing your job? Technically. They had a funny couple cook with me sessions they advertised. I wanted to bring that up too. 9:20 is today. 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. There's a cook with me sausage and apple baked twice sweet potato. I thought that sounded interesting. I thought, you know what? And like I said, if you have the option to go to Zooms, go to a Zoom like that. Get a fun recipe and just get ideas. I mean, I know a lot of people don't always have the option to go to meetings, but if you're paying for it, go to a Zoom like that. And next Monday is chicken, butternut, and Brussels sprout sheet pan. All my favorite things. Butternut squash, Brussels sprouts. Well, chicken is one. It's okay. I think I'd rather like a chicken sausage with that, but it's me. But that sounds really good too. So, like I said, if you have this app that you're paying for, utilize the Zooms. And there's, like I said, there's just more than meetings. There's very specific meetings for age ranges, for lifestyle. So go check them out. Why am I? Check out the workshops. Get past perfectionism. Is that a problem with a lot of us? Are we trying to be perfect? There's one at 7:30 a.m. Monday mornings and Wednesday at 3 p.m. I don't think I was ever perfectionist. I feel like I need to be more perfectionist personally. But I know people out there that it's like, and I see it. Progress, not perfection, and doing something versus doing nothing. If you're the person that doesn't track at all, give me a commitment of just tracking dinner for a week. You know what? It's a routine. And that's the thing. We have to create that routine of that. And I'm telling you, like back when I first started, I was not a tracker. I tried tracking my head. Oh, well, I have this. That's good. But I can't remember what I had for breakfast at dinner time. Like, how many points did I have? Let me think. Then I have to go, all that time you have to go back and think what you had. Is taking the time up you could have taken to track and just go and look quickly. Or you only look at the total because you're going to track your dinner. I got 13 points left for dinner. Okay, it's going to be a nice night. So it is important. I know we beat this horse all the time. And there are people that still, after we beat it, still don't track. I just know what to say. I feel like that is so important. You can't make an informed decision without information. Like, would you, let me think, would you do something without, like, would you just go in a store and pick up a new bra without getting measured? A lot of people do. That's probably why your bra don't fit right. Go find a store. Usually Macy's used to do it. I don't know. And get somebody to measure you, because just because your bra fits doesn't mean it's the right size. Because let me tell you, they stretch out. I told you the underwear story that I was, I forgot what size. I think it was a size 8. I was told, I had a, when you buy underwear on sale, you get a ton of them. So I had a ton of underwear. So I decided to go out and buy new underwear because, it's time, So I got my size 8, and it's new. Size 8, and I put it on. I went to work. I was working at the school. It's a funny story. And as I'm working, or as I got, it would roll down because it couldn't stay up because it was too small. And there I am trying to nonchalantly hike up my underwear because nobody wants to wear underwear that's rolled down to the, your pants, And I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong? They're too small because you've gained weight but it fits. The other ones fit. Well, the other ones are all stretched out, Denise. That's why they fit. So yeah, needless to say, I ordered some new underwear, a bigger size. But now I'm actually, I think I'm back in a 7 now in underwear, which is good. But yeah, gain 100 pounds and try to wear the same pair of underwear because they grew with me. Information is so important. Bra size, correct size of things is so important. So I'm trying to think why I took a picture of this. I'm looking at this. I don't know why I took a picture of this. Oh, they have Plan With Me. They also have Plan With Me workshops, which is interesting. I'm not a planner. I might go just to see if there's any kind of tips they can give a non-planner, because that's the thing too. You don't know what tips you're going to get from something you don't find interesting, because it could give you something that could help you. It might not be everything. Again, some better than none. Progress, not perfection. I'm not going to be the most perfect planner, but can I be a better one with a few tips? I should. So that is it. Let me know how your week went. What'd you do right? What'd you do wrong? I got weighed. That's one thing I did right. Did a lot of things wrong, but we don't focus on it. Focus on the fact that I come here and I say it. And I thank you for supporting me. Like I said, where would I be if I didn't have a community to answer to? I'd be like, I'd probably gain 4 more pounds this week. I probably wouldn't care. But But I was like, oh my God. And I kind of knew going into it that it was not going to be a good week. I knew that. But it is what it is. Here's the thing. Not all weeks are perfect. Progress. Did I do good since then? I have. I've done better. So that's all I can ask of myself. Better. We just need to do better, my lovelies. Just need to do better. We do. It's a lifestyle. It is a, what does it say? It's not a sprint. It's not a, or is it a sprint, not a race? Something like that. It's a journey, and that's why they call it journey. You just have to take the wins, take the losses, and move on and keep going. So that is it. How are you? Let me know what kind of a tracker you are. Are you not a tracker? Should we talk more about tracking in another video? Let me know. I could always, I will be also, I'll leave you with this. I would have never made Weight Watchers a goal or a lifetime if I didn't track a lot. Like when I got into, I shouldn't say a lot, consistently. That's what I was looking for. When I became a consistent tracker, that's when it all happened. It is. And I laugh at myself because I'm like, I could have done this years ago if I just consistently tracked. I thought it was just, I could keep it in my head. I couldn't. So I'll leave you with that. Let me know. If you're new here, welcome. If you hit that subscribe button. After I gained weight, thank you. Subscribe to Dish with D. She's lost 116 pounds. She can do it again. She has to lose 20 now. Oh my God. I'll do it, my lovelies. I will. I promise. I will. I have to. I put it out to the masses. See, that was a good thing about like just saying it out loud. Like now, it's like you're gonna look. Let's see how she does next week because you know what, she gained 4 pounds this week. She's got 20 to get back to goal. I do. But anyway, I actually feel I can see it in my face. It's already better because it was so puffy last. Even see, he goes, you're midterm. I said, I know. Thank you. I know. You don't need to tell me. But that is it. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at Dish with D, where we talk realistic weight loss and lovely lifestyle. I don't pull any punches here. I don't lie to you. I tell you exactly what's going on, and I tell you how I intend on fixing it, and we all share together. So join us here, and I will see you in a vlog very soon, my lovelies. Bye-bye for now. Peace out.